Welcome everyone. Second time I said the same thing. So I'm Julien. I will speak on behalf of the Fink team. So we'll have several tutorial sessions, and this one is about interfacing Fink with your tools. So Fink is a community-driven broker team. So we are from all over different countries, mainly in France. Okay, so let's open the Markdown. So this one is not a notebook, it's a presentation about all the different ways you can access Fink data, which is all public. So Fink is this big beast here, very simple in fact. So we are deployed on the cloud. We are lucky to have access to a public cloud in our university. And we are transitioning to the CCI and 2P3 center, which will also host a copy of the LSSTC data. So mainstream are coming, we are processing them live. We are mainly listening to ZTF public stream, but also VO event or any kind of GCN notices. The data is processed, and then you have different ways of accessing the data, either live with a live stream service or via a science portal, so a web application where you can export data. So I will detail all of them now. So the live stream, so basically we have a Kafka cluster that take the output of the processing box and split the stream into substream based on your science needs. So if you're interested in supernova or kilonova or solar system object, you can define your own filter. And then what we'll do is we'll just create a substream just for you that you will receive using the live stream service. So it's very easy. You can install a client to receive those. Basically, you will receive those alerts live. Live meaning after the alert is emitted, the Fink is ingestion time and the processing time, which is typically nowadays a few minutes delay after ZTF, for example, emits the alert. So we'll consider that as live for the moment. So that's the first thing, and we are daily monitoring all the things, receiving alerts, so you can define whatever you want. It's there. The second way of accessing all the data that we have in Fink is via what I will call the science portal. And of course, it's corresponding REST API. So I will describe briefly the science portal. So this is a web application, so you can connect. There is a link here, so you can access it from the GitHub repository of the tutorial. So we started observation in November 2019. Since that moment, we collected more than 70 million ZTF alerts. I quote ZTF because all of the surveys are basically relevant with respect to this number. It's huge. So it's more than 3 terabytes of alerts. And about, let's say, a bit less than half of it has been processed in the sense that survived the quality cut after ingestion. So the alerts are aggregated into databases, and the data is updated once a day. So it's not used for live processing. So you will have to wait for the night to be over to access the data. But nevertheless, for most of the science cases, it's very useful. So if you click on that link, you will arrive to that thing. So this is the front end. So you have two ways, either to explore the historical data or to do some cross-match. So today we'll talk about exploring the data. So you can search in the database. So we are using in the backend Apache Edge-based tables, which are distributed but no SQL tables. So it's a bit different probably from what you are used to with the SQL table and other things. So the syntax is a bit different, but nevertheless, it's very efficient given the volume of the data. And it's highly scalable. So you can do different searches. You can search by object ID if you know the specific ID of an object. You can perform cone search. You can search by dates. You can get also alerts given its class. So we have a series of classifiers, but also cross-match. So we tag each alert with some class. And so you can basically retrieve the alert based on this classification. And you can do also some solar system object search, which is a bit different because those are moving objects. So you need to link them before exploding them. So here is a view of the science portal. So you have the search bar, and you can click on your left. You will have a drop-down menu where you can select the kind of query you want to run. In any, whenever you are lost, you can click on help, and there will be a pop-up menu helping you with the syntax. Let's make some examples. So you enter, for example, you make a solar system object search. So you know the number in the minor planet center, the MPC. So you write this number, you click on search, and you get a table with all the objects matching this query. So of course, there are a few columns explaining a bit more what's in the data. You can add more columns to get more data. You can also, so here you have different tabs, information, just some basic information table, and you have Skymap also. So if you click on Skymap, you can have also all the projected outputs on Skymap using the Aladdin web application. So it's quite nice, especially for solar system object. You can see those basically those orbits with a pan star by default in the background. And of course, you can click on a link on a specific object to see its data. So when you click on an object, so here I take the example of a supernova, a very nice supernova. You arrive here on the summary view, where you have on the left, Aladdin view. In the middle, you have the different cutouts, so the science image, the template, and the difference between the previous two. At the bottom, you have the light curve for different bands. You can change units. And on the right, you have some additional properties. So when it has been emitted, its position, some information about the variability, the neighborhood. So we cross-match with the Skymap database, for example. You have external link. But of course, we know that in ZTF stream and then in LSSTC, that would be even more the case. There are many different types of transients, and it's very difficult to get intuition about everything at first sight. So in Fink, we design what we call views. So here on the top, you have different tabs that you can click based on the science case. So this one is obviously a supernova. So you say, very interesting. Let's click on the supernova view. You click on the supernova view. Of course, the thing changed. So it's a different supernova, just for the example, for the sake of this example, but that would work the same. You have different things. So you have the light curve, but at the bottom, for example, you have the evolution of the machine learning scores using Fink to basically classify objects. You can click also to see the color and the magnitude evolution over time and their rate. You can get some additional information, and the right-hand side as well change. You can see the color evolution, G minus R. So for an observer, for example, that would help an observer taking a decision then on any follow-up to be taken. So we have different views for supernova, variable stars, microlensing, solar system. So here is the solar system view, for example, for a given object. So you take the object 9247 and you have its light curve all the time. And you have also projection of its orbit, area and plot, and some extra information taken from MPC, the Minor Planet Center, its period, if it's known. Okay, excellent. So it's still in development, this science portal, but it's already a lot of things. So give us your feedback. It's very important for us if there is anything you want in addition or if there is any bug. Of course, all the tools that you see here, they are accessible from the REST API. So you can do everything from the REST API. And you will discover that in the next Fink tutorials. So there will be tutorials using the REST API on extragalactic science, on galactic science, on solar system objects. So stay tuned. All of that will be described during this workshop. And the last thing, it's not specific to Fink, but of course, if you want to access Fink via Tom, for example, you need to add an extra module, and we wrote that for you. It's called the Tom Fink module in Tom, Target Observation Manager. So you can easily install that. And if you're familiar with Tom, this is a screenshot of the different of the page when you want to query a broker, and you will have a new button appearing here, Fink, where if you click on that, you will have access to a form that is basically under the hood. Basically, there is the REST API running, and you will be able to set up a filter and query the Fink database directly through your tool. So that's all for me. If you have any question, that will be there for the next 3 days with different other tutorials. Thanks.
Thanks, Julien. So remember, if you have questions for Fink, put it in the Slack channel. They will be answering them. And let's move on to the next